when you can make an issue out of it and go viral for free.
We here at Umbrella Corp just want to say that we fully support Pride Month.
Yeah.
And for the month of Pride, we are changing the Umbrella logo to rainbow.
So my question and my comment would be, first the question, so what? Like, so what? Someone wrote an article. Like, the whole point is you can also still ignore it. You don't have to click. We act like we are automatically sheeped into doing things, which again is the same comment that I have in the point of hypocritical in the sense, if we're going to bring up the right, then how's that different than when they get on their culture fucking wars? And they're like, oh, well, that gay person is having sex with another gay person in their house. We have to stop it. That woman is under a fucked up situation and is contemplating the worst goddamn moment of her life. She's thinking about abortion. We have to stop it. Like, it's the same goddamn, if you just ignore it and go about your own fucking business, then I guarantee you none of it actually hits the level that it should be getting. But it becomes this back and forth where eventually, and this is where, if we're going to go left and right, where the left continues to fucking fuck up, is understand is when you get into the argument, you only add to their side. Because then you start attacking each other. Then you start breaking each other down and finding what's fucked up about each other. And the writer just sitting there like, yeah, that was my point fucking last month. Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you know what you should do? You should listen to me. Yeah, fuck you, but actually you have a point. Like, just ignore it. Just get over it. Move over it. Just like everything else.
Greg, we have our new t-shirt. Just ignore it.
Just ignore it.
Just ignore it. I'm loving it. I absolutely love it as a concept. Just
as a concept.
That
is not at all how human beings are wired.
Absolutely, but we gotta start somewhere, man.
No, that's an excuse. We act like we're fucking cats bouncing at yarns every fucking moment. Like, no, that's an excuse. We have the capability. It's the same fucking thing that we went through last year with masks, where people were like, I don't want you to force these rules on me. You're like, bitch, hold on. You stopped at 4 different lights to get here. You drove on the right side of the road. You had your goddamn seatbelt on. You are currently wearing clothes. You were wearing shoes. You're using money to fucking buy that instead of walking out. You are following fucking rules all the goddamn time. Like, we actually have the capability. Maybe if we stop goddamn making excuses for every goddamn thing we do, we could get back to actually improving on things.
I mean,
I have excuses for.
I fundamentally agree, but at the same time, here comes the dark side again. By the way, we're just not. I mean, you guys do fitness. You know, we're not gonna because we don't wanna. All right, we're not gonna. All right, we're not gonna. Okay, you're right. I followed rules in that instance, but I don't like these rules because I don't like the people who broke them. So no, and I'm not gonna. You want to say excuses? Oh, we're not sheep. Okay, you're right. We're not sheeple. I am going to ignore this common sense as a human being just because I don't want to give some fucknut that I've never met the satisfaction of knowing
never will meet.
I am taking care of myself. So there. All right.
I don't think like everything it just said was one of those long, complex mathematical formulas where at the end it's still multiplied by 0.
Yeah. Like I don't need excuses. I'm just not gonna.
I think we have successfully unmasked the Illuminati that runs this world today. I think this has happened. We found it. It's Darth Karen. Darth Karen runs everything, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
If she's holding the bag, then yeah, it is.
Here's me.
I'm not going to. I could totally ignore that story that is just going to aggravate me. You're right. Gonna.
All right. Well, I will we'll take the gavel back here for just a moment. You know, that's wonderful and true. Know that I'm totally guilty of everything you two were talking about, by the way. I absolutely have done it.
I know it's wrong. You're going to do it anyway.
I have the Facebook bans to prove it, without a doubt. I mean, I've absolutely. I'm 100.
Don't get me started on that.
I'm 100. Hey, I'm owning my seat. I'm owning my seat. I'm
not doing it.
Not even saying like, you know, not even doing it. I'm better.
Save yourself.
I'm not even sitting here saying I'm better than that. Well, as always, you know, appreciate having you guys here for a conversation. I'm not gonna lie, Rashawn, when you were talking about the Moors, my mind does always go to the scene in True Romance between Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken. Won't repeat it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. An interesting way to try and get a man to kill you.
I always go to Morgan Freeman.
That too. Yeah, that's the other. Those are the other things too. I was thinking.
Why are you here?
You notice the blind guy figures it out though. The blind guy is like, "What kind of name is Hassan or whatever?" I forget what his name was. But
by the way, I love Quentin Tarantino, but I swear to God, he makes movies just as a reason to use N-word.
Completely. You know?
I challenge my man to make one movie where someone doesn't say it. Just one.
Just one.
I guarantee you, if he did Star Trek, that would be the first Star Trek.
No, you absolutely put space in front of it. Space and bomb. There you go. You absolutely.
Let me tell you what motherfuckers say to me, and I look at motherfuckers like, "Fuck you just say," because I watch Django, right?
Yeah.
I ain't here for historical accuracy, motherfucking. Inglorious Bastards. You didn't go to Auschwitz. No, you didn't. No. You didn't go to Anne Frank's, attic and give her a fucking a cybernetic arm. No, you didn't. You didn't do any of that shit. So why all of a sudden we being historically accurate with all of the horrible shit? And feel free to weigh in on this. That's happening to Black people at the time. I did not come here to see historical accuracy. I did not come here to see Black people having to live under the yoke of slavery. I came here to see slave masters and racists get killed. And that's all I want to see. I don't want anybody in the hot box. I don't want to see any of that shit.
I'll give my man.
And then wait, because them motherfuckers, these motherfuckers come and they say shit like, "Yo, man, you gotta, show the truth." Like, bitch, go watch Glory. Right? Fuck out of here. This is a Quentin Tarantino movie. Okay? This is a Quentin Tarantino movie. And I just want slave masters getting killed in horrible fucking ways. I didn't want to see anything bad happen to Black people. If anything, I was hoping that he'd just go all the way and just have like a plantation where Black people go live happily ever after, start an army and take over America. That would have been my goal. That would have been the happy ending for me. Why didn't Black people take over America? And then everybody, that would have been my perfect film right there. But I'll settle for just killing slave masters. Like, that's one thing about that movie that bugged me. Motherfucker, I didn't come here for historical accuracy. I came to see slave masters get killed.
I'm not gonna lie.
My entire life, I grew up understanding, in part, white supremacy existed because people deep down, like, passed down stories of understanding of, like, we're still not quite sure why there wasn't a complete uprising across the landscape, and we're kind of still waiting on it. So tread lightly, new generation. Like, I grew up always just understanding that was part of white supremacy. It's like they all knew. They totally got away on borrowed time from pre-Civil War time. Like, holy shit, did you do the numbers, Jimmy?
I'll weigh in as the Jewish guy. When he comes out of the tunnel with the baseball bat, talking about Fenway fucking knocking a Nazi's head in, I'm okay with that. I was all good.
Yeah,
as a Boston Jewish guy, I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's how you do it."
Until you find out how the Red Sox owner and guys like Yaki felt about people.
That's okay. That's my ultimate fuck you. Right?
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's the ultimate fuck you to Yaki. Is right. I'm gonna wear my B, and I'm gonna beat some Nazis' head in. So there we go. Wow, there's a cheery subject to end it in on. But
it is. Yo, he did a great job with Inglorious Bastards. Totally supported. I wasn't 100% on board with Django Unchained.
I mean, so well played. If you want me to add anything, Greg, all I can say is just like, love
it. Well, I will briefly. We're gonna start our sign off here, but I'm briefly see if Greg can add on to that or just put any icing on that wonderful cake. What you got for us, Star Child? What do you send us off?
I'm gonna end it with something else. I'm gonna give the people a little something as because you started it off with billionaires in space. So please check out a track called by Gil Scott Heron called Whitey's on the Moon. When it was, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And every time you hear about a billionaire or pretty much anybody going to Mars or something equally stupid, you're going to think about that song. Just think about Whitey's on the Moon. A rat done bit my sister Nell, and Whitey's on the moon. Her leg and arm began to swell, and Whitey's on the moon. It'll click to you. Man. And there's a documentary called The Summer of Soul. This day actually occurred during the moon landing, and the reaction of Black people in Harlem is just absolute music to my ears. So I think it's on Hulu, but Summer of Soul, check that out too. And you're welcome.
Love it. Love it. All right, 3 clubs. You've definitely had your word today. Love listening to it. Gave me some things to think about over the rest of my time here in the weekend. But what do you got to lead us out with into the rest of the week?
My head went blank again.
And Whitey's on the moon.
Oh yeah, I mean, shout out, rest in peace, Bismarcky.
Word.
Yeah, no, my head went blank. Probably I'll think of something as soon as Josh starts talking, so I'll just be quiet.
I just wait for you to jump back in. You know, definitely. I had a friend named Biz growing up, and he's worth 200 million plus. Last I checked, he actually was one of the co-founders of Twitter. So, I guess I should have been a better friend. He's a friend in 2nd grade.
I called it. Yeah, actually, no, I remember it. Which, by the way, why isn't he our Patreon? Anyway, so moving forward.
2nd grade.
The funniest thing about these billionaires trying to leave the planet, I think, is the unintended consequence of actually making our inept government, I don't care who you fucking vote for, move forward in some sort of not respectable, but at least more than what they've done way when it comes to focusing on climate change. Because I swear to God, I'm hearing all of a sudden out of nowhere from every stripe, people like, hey, but what we should probably do is maybe look into how hot things have been and like how weird the weather pattern has been. Also, how like California goes into these lake disappearing droughts every other year, let alone the wildfires that we're now moving into historical acreage loss. But just in case, we want to kick it around, maybe before elections, just kicking around. Like, at least they're doing that. They've never done that before, even with all the climate accords. So yeah, we can get upset with these guys going to try to kill themselves on Mars, and that's all cool. But at least they're making other people like, hey, why do you guys want to do this? Oh, you just kind of colony? Yeah, want to leave? All right.
Great. Shining phalluses up in the sky.
Bro, I get where you're coming from, and I understand because none of us have money, but at the same time, I have a feeling both those guys do okay when it comes to getting laid. For a lot of
not good enough now. When you've got that much money, you're kind of bored.
I mean,
clearly
bored. I'm sure that's some weird ass shit.
We're talking about the history of Manhattan. I mean, one of the reasons those buildings just kept getting taller and taller is because rich guys wanted to show off their schlong.
True, but they also weren't living in the age of technology where we have billionaires talking about going to Mars, and probably subsequently on the pharmaceutical and things that can help them get over certain humps, and also in a society that allows them to maybe perhaps try multiple different things. Like, that's the whole history thing that we always have to pay attention to, is what actual era are we in? Because in the 20s, they didn't have the shit that they have now. Bezos could fucking drop a pill that could probably make him fucking nut on impact. So, like,
and he does, and he will in space. Right, but can you do it?
Space or not, I'm just saying, I don't think those guys have a problem catching a nut. I'm
just saying, can you do it? And their response will be, can you do it in space? Because
can you do it in space?
Exactly.
They will find out, I guarantee you.
We'll find out, I'm sure. The 20,000 mile high club. All right. With that, I will ask you to go and give us some love over on Apple, on iTunes and Apple Music.
Ask your friend Biz.
Right? Yeah, be nice, Biz, if you're listening.